counting breaths meditation. There is a brochure at the end. And I was teaching of all ages. And some of them are very stressed, even though they were doing meditation, their stress was not coming down. Then sort of came out in talking to them that they had problems in their relationship. Somebody with their father, somebody with their mother, somebody with a co-worker or a boss, variety of relationship problems. Then I realized, okay, meditation is not going to help in resolving a relationship issue. It is like this. You have a speck of dust in the eye. There is a poem in Telugu language. A speck of dust in the eye, a small pebble in the shoe, or a bug inside your ear. The stress is unbearable. And so is the stress of somebody in your own family. Stress coming from a member of the family can be as bad as that. So that cannot be resolved by meditation. The root cause has to be addressed. So that's how I got interested in relationships. That led to communication. That led to parenting. That led to trauma, brain science, domestic violence, all these whole areas. And finally, I was still, after reading tons of books, maybe more than 100 books and a lot of websites, I still didn't get how to resolve these problems, relationship problems. Finally, I found this nonviolent communication. And I honestly believe that if we can absorb this concept and practice it, our lives can change, our families can change, the whole world can change. I am not exaggerating. There is enough scientific proof available, enough support available. So, I find it tremendous potential, and Dr. Rani Gandham was interested. My daughter believes, she's my daughter, Padma. She believes in this. She sees so many people coming to her with anxiety, depression and all. And the root cause is not medicine, the solution is not medicine, because the root cause is a relationship issue and the way they were parented by their father or mother. Dr. Rani Gandham wanted to be here, but she had to attend to some medical emergency, so she is not here. Okay, so the ideas look so simple, but when I try to put those ideas in my mind, like feeding a baby, the baby was spitting out. My brain was spitting out there because these ideas are so radically different from the way I was brought. What I have seen, everybody behave in a particular manner, and this, I have been walking south all the time, and now this says walk north, totally opposite direction. So I've been listening to the videos, I've been listening to reading the books. I got a dozen books on this. Will you please take one set of hands and take your chair over there, sit in the same circle.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can take your chair. So these ideas are very difficult to digest and benefit. Please don't think this is a one-shot thing. The purpose of this meeting is to know who is really interested. We want to form a small group, and we will be working till these ideas get into our blood. I'm being very honest. I don't want to make a promise that this is just the exploration. Who is interested? The purpose of this session is to know who is really interested, who is really committed. Then I'll take care of all the groundwork. I'll coordinate, if necessary, arrange a trainer by Zoom session or in person and take care of all the organizing responsibilities, because I really believe this can change, this can help families. And why is this important? Why I'm so passionate? Because we think, I asked you, children and the parents are getting exposed to Vedanta, which is the highest form of non-violence. Can you please come forward also? Yeah. Why? She asked only today morning. She said people think ahimsa means not eating meat. That is, I have her message in WhatsApp. People think ahimsa means not eating meat. Oh, that is such an understatement. And we can silence our phones. We were in a joint family. We used to sit. It was what? More than 70 years back. We were sitting in a big hall, and all the elders are sitting this side. Children are supposed to sit that side. And I was trying to go from the middle to my designated place behind the plate in which the food will be served. Now the empty plates are there. By the side of each plate there is a glass of water. So as a 5 or 6 year old, I was trying to cross over carefully. Everybody is watching me. Cross over, I knocked on the glass. But water spilled. And I felt so bad. In front of everybody, I knocked the glass down. So I felt bad. But then somebody, as happens in every family, somebody said, oh, you have to be careful, where you put your food, blah, blah. Somebody commented. Some elder commented. It's very natural, expected, which happens in every house. As a 6-year-old, I was so ashamed of what happened and the comment that came to me. I didn't go to my designated place. I went back to my parents' room, lied down on a cot, quiet cot at that time, and cried. And I tried to squeeze my neck. I remember that scene, picture in my mind. Alone. Can you imagine that? Just a word, a sentence. A sentence can make a 6-year-old squeeze his neck. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. Take another example. I saw a relative, mother, feeding her son. He's just 5 or 6 years younger to me. Absolutely taking care of him, meticulously dressing him, combing his hair and sending him out. He would go play, and then some fights will be there between boys, and somebody will beat him and he will beat them, and then the neighboring ladies would come and complain to my relative, and she would fly into a rage. She was that kind of person, has a reputation for hot temper. She would beat her son left and right in the presence of everybody. And not only that, couple of times I heard her say to her son, "You bring so many problems to me, I wish you were dead." At least 2 times. And you know what happened to that relative, that boy? He did his graduation, he didn't get a good job, then he joined as an assistant to a doctor there, local doctor in a small town in Andhra Pradesh, and he got into injectable drugs when 40, 50 years back in a small town in Andhra Pradesh. Injectable drugs. And he became a drug addict. And he died in his 40s. He died in his 40s. Mother was taking excellent care of him, physical care. Emotionally, he was a wreck. And mother must be a wreck, otherwise she would never treat her son like that, use such words to her. So these 2 examples are enough. There are many such examples. And then I have seen, I have been working with men and women suffering from domestic violence, and it came out that, where did this come from?
But
Let me complete. I'll give you a chance. And I saw that, I asked the husband or the wife, how was it between you and your parents, or between the parents? Invariably, I found a link across the generations. Invariably. And my daughter has many experiences, people coming with anxiety, depression and all, and creating the right atmosphere. She helps them to come out of physical abuse by the father or the mother. And last, I would like to tell about a 60-year-old American woman whose 82-year-old mother was emotionally abusing her for more than 40 years. Emotionally, verbally, no physical. So that is enough. That's why I think this problem is not going away anywhere. It will be passed on. And one more thing, last thing is, let me read some quotes here. Otherwise, I will take a lot of time. I prepared some stuff. I will give you some samples. The founder of, you wanted to say something.
yeah, so my question is, like, you are talking about non-violent abuse, for example. Actually, that is extreme. Actually, I understand. It's too much. Like abusing repeatedly, that might be that. But in the realistic world, like when you look at the Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, there is violence is there, right? Lord Krishna tried his best not to go into that, no non-violence. But ultimately, violence has to come into the picture. So it's like part and parcel. Like you should not go to the extreme, but it is like, for example, I was talking about my kids. I gave them a chance, but they are taking the benefit of it. I love my kids, but they are not taking the right direction. But, that's what I just wanted to share my thoughts.
I heard you, and you have a problem and you are looking for a solution, right?
Problem is like small things, but yeah, but they take.
What did I say? Can you please repeat what I said?
Yeah, I have a problem.
And you are looking for a solution.
Solution means, trying to get a solution.
Did I get you right?
Yes.
You have a problem, you are looking for a solution,
Yes.
right?
Perfect solution.
Good. You are looking for a perfect solution, right? I heard you right. You heard me right. This is non-violent communication. Just now, we have enacted that, role played that. Thank you for that. You have given me an opportunity to practice non-violent communication. We hear each other and confirm to each other we have heard each other correctly. The first step of non-violent communication is already started. Hear each other. Make sure both people have the confidence the other person has heard him or her, which doesn't happen most of the time. It didn't happen right in the beginning. Have you noticed the change in our dialogue? Initially, no. But I tried to, my best to walk on this path of non-violence communication, but we have a better understanding of that. This is just, I'm a learner, I'm passionate about learning, I'm not a teacher. Please don't confuse me with a teacher. No, I'm a passionate student. I love it, and I am sharing my love of this with a good number of people, and I hope will form a group. Again, that is my goal. Okay, a few quotes. The founder of Nonviolent Communication, Marshall Rosenberg, he said, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. Cooking is worth doing. So the first time you cook, it won't be perfect, right? But over a period of time, you become a great cook. So anything you do in the beginning will not be perfect. So this non-violent communication also, when you attempt, people may laugh at you. We may laugh at each other. Yeah, that is how it starts. Anything new, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. That means in the beginning it will be a poor performance. Bad show. We don't aim at perfection because This is a lifelong process. We keep learning throughout life. Don't aim at perfection. And the last sentence is, we try to be progressively less stupid.
So it is a
Yesterday I was 90% stupid. Today I am at becoming 80% stupid. Day after tomorrow 70%, 60%. That way you are not afraid of attempting it. Otherwise you'll be afraid. And this is very important for us to understand when we try to coach children. We are an adult. We learn so many things and we try to apply our standard to them. Our level of understanding, maturity, this and that, blah, 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 we try to apply to them. That is one of the biggest problems. And next thing is criticism, anger, depression, guilt and shame. We see them all around us. Are tragic suicidal expressions of unmet needs. And the word needs is coming. We will be talking about it. These are our friends. All these so-called negative things, these are our friends. Because they are pointing, go here, there is a need here. Find out that need. Take care of the need and I will be fine. These are all like road signs. Go this way, you will go to Troy. Go this way, you will go to another town. These are all criticism, anger, depression, guilt and shame are tragic suicidal expressions of unmet needs. Somebody has a need here, they are expressing it in one of these ways. One of these ways, any of these ways is not the problem. The problem is the need that is not being fulfilled. Next one is, connect with a person before you correct. Yes.
I'm trying to learn that.
You can speak on that.
Yeah, I had bringing up my two daughters who are grown up now, and my interacting with my grandchildren, CS has helped me realize that before your child or your loved one can hear you, you have to connect to them. You can't, put your expectations on them. You can't say, hang up your clothes because your room will be much neater or something. You have to, communicate with them at their level where they're at and say, gee, what do you think about your room? Do and you engage in them instead of criticizing and putting your expectation on them, go to where they're at and then communicate with them. And it gets to be fun because you can see how they respond when you're not, and it's not really attacking them, but it's like you're putting your needs on them and instead listen to where they're at.
You also applied it to your 50-year-old daughter, 50.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's really, I've had a good relationship with my daughters over the years, but it's improving now because, I sit back and I listen to what they're saying, or I try to see where they're at, and then I go in with I'm trying to even think of an example.
Okay.
It's something like, I hear you, gee, that's really an interesting thought. I didn't think of it that way. And you just connect to them first, and it just makes you feel so good, and it lightens up everything around you.
Thank you.
It's great.
So, why is this connect before you correct? It's like this, I have a bridge. Over the bridge, I am sending a car to you, and you are sending the car from that side. So, something here cannot go there unless there is a bridge. So, whatever I am speaking is like the car. I am sending these words, are entering your ears and entering your brain, and we are making sense of those words. So, unless this bridge is established, things cannot go either way. Cannot go from here A to B and B to A. Communication is A to B and B to A. Communication is not monologue. Somebody is standing on a stage and they are speaking to who? The people here. If they can't speak to chairs, suppose all the people sitting in the chair, everybody, just imagine, for sake of imagination, somebody is singing or acting, everybody sitting like a statue. How will that person feel on the stage? Bizarre. That is communication. That is communication. And there is a video on YouTube. A mother is interacting with a toddler. It's so very important. People don't know it. Basic brain science. The baby is trying to doing it, and mother is interacting. The brain of the baby is being wired. Connections are taking place. They show the baby is very happy, mother is very happy, both are interacting. And then in the second part of the video, it is a scientific experiment. The baby is trying to reach, the mother is sitting just like a statue. The baby is very uncomfortable. Baby even cries. I'll send you the link to the YouTube. Cries and this thing goes away. This thing so traumatized because mother is not connecting with the baby. And then third part of that, first part was they were happily interacting with each other. Second part was mother put up a stone face. And third part is mother is again playing, baby is okay. What if this mother or father were in that frozen, disconnected state day after day, week after week? That baby is destroyed emotionally. Brain is not wired properly. You can bank on the baby to become a violent person going ahead. Be sure. So, how the caregiver, the mother or the father, how they face-to-face interact emotionally. Playing with them. If the baby is crying, oh, where come my baby is crying? So that you connect with the baby. If that emotional connection is not there, the baby's brain is messed up. And that baby will become a problem boy or girl, and a problem husband or wife or grandfather. Yes. Okay. Maintaining a connection is more important than the individual corrections. Where there is no connection, there can't be a correction. Next one is, sympathy means you can understand what the person is feeling. Empathy means that you feel what the person is feeling. Compassion is feeling what the person is feeling and the willingness to relieve the suffering of that person. Can you show that boy touching the shoulder? How many months?
6 months.
6 months? 6 months babies. That baby is crying and this baby put a hand on his shoulder. Who taught this boy to comfort them? Did the parent coach them? Teach them? Is it because the mother taught like this? Where did this come from? The Marshall Rosenberg, he says, we were born with this compassion to help somebody suffering. Born. You see proof of this. Where did this compassion go when you are growing up year by year, year by year? Where did this compassion go? Where did the violence come in? That is the big question. We were born like that. All of us, each one of us, were born to be that. And next one, to give is domination if I can't also receive gratefully without fuss. A lot of people have difficulty. They want to give, they are very uncomfortable receiving. So if you are uncomfortable about receiving, your giving is a kind of domination. You want to be an upper hand. I give more than the other. I want to be higher up, higher up. Okay. So the other two are my thoughts, so to say. Each one of us were born like that. How did we become? Some people become good natured, some people become bad natured. There are people, if you go into statistics of violence, you find, go online and see how many people are being killed every day. And how many, and for your information, the number of women killed statistically is highest in the home. Homicides of women are maximum at home. The place where they are supposed to be most safe, that is where the women are dying most. Each one of us were innocent when we were born. We did not have so-called goodness or badness. We cried when hungry, slept when sleepy, and wetted the diapers. How well the people in charge of our lives took care of our physical and emotional needs, molded us into what we are today, intellectually, emotionally, physically, for good and bad. We were born innocent like that. If somebody has turned out different, they are not the babies are not responsible. The people who cared for those babies are responsible. Next thing, last thing, quotation wise. Your children live for say 100 years. We do our best so that by the age of 25 to 30, they will be self-sufficient, employed, have their own apartment, car, etc. Then they will live with their life partner for say 70 years, if they are living 100 years. During the 70 years, they will be dealing with their own family members, their bosses and co-workers, their parents and in-laws. And how are we preparing them for this 70 years of life? Relationship building and maintaining. 30 years we are so worried, obsessed about education, employment, car, house. For the 70 years, what training did we receive? What training we are giving to the 70 years for the relationship, building relationship, and not preparing them for these 70 years, that is the reason why we are seeing so many violent behaviors at home and in community. Please think seriously about it. Then let me go into the subject now. I don't know what is the time scan. When are we going to close? Please.
12. Julie said 12.
12. So we have just 20 minutes. I think we made a good beginning. I will just cover as much as possible, and then so far I have talked a lot. If anybody would like to comment on what we have discussed, talked so far, I would like any comments from anybody, but please make your comments brief. Anybody? Okay, we'll proceed. So before we go into non-violence, let's understand what is violence. According to Center for Disease Control, which is the highest authority for health in the US, and the World Health Organization, highest authority for the whole world, violence includes harm to oneself. If I hurt myself, this is violence. If I take drugs, that is violence. I'm committing myself. Narcotics, I mean to say. And if I attempt suicide, that is violence to myself. This is self-violence towards oneself. And violence includes emotional, physical scars that can last a lifetime. Emotional scar. I already gave you example of that relative where the boy became a drug addict and died in his 40s. And I heard a woman say whose mother was taunting her such hurtful words, just words, leaving the mouth and entering the ear and entering the brain. How can they hurt? That woman told her mother, that teenager told her mother, instead of using all those hurtful words, why don't you take a knife and push through my heart? A teenager told her own mother. Can you imagine that? And violence can also impact the general health. It is common in homes, common in schools, common in workplaces and communities. We see homes, schools, workplaces. Schools, workplaces, we are hearing school shootings and all that. Investigate all the childhood of each of these shooters. You know the story behind it. Very tragic story. So it is common in homes also. But only thing is society may not be able to see it. A parent abusing the child emotionally, verbally or physically cannot be seen by the society, but it is illegal also. The child in India, in here, the CPS can take away the child. If they come to know that the child is being abused at home. Then let us define non-violence. Not harming oneself. Harming oneself is not self-sacrifice. It is violence towards your own self. Setting a bad example. Preventing and psychological and emotional injuries, like the one I said before. Avoiding impact on general health. It is to be applied at home, schools, workplaces and communities. And Marshall Rosenberg was the person who developed this non-violent communication philosophy, and he was a psychologist with a PhD, and he, in around the year 1960 he developed. And what inspired him is in those days in Detroit where he was living, 30 of his Jewish neighbors were killed out of hatred towards Jews, like Hitler killed the Jews. He saw that. He was wondering as a 10-year-old boy, why did somebody kill somebody? What is the need for some people to kill total strangers in their own neighborhood? And then at home, his grandmother was paralyzed, lying in the bed, not able to take care of herself. Her family was taking care of her. Her uncle, after working 8 hours, he would go, uncle means grandmother's own son, and he would physically clean her. Physical need, he was cleaning her after working 8 hours. And while cleaning her up, he had a beautiful smile on his face, happiness. Doing that kind of difficult work, unusual work, his face was glowing. So he saw this contrast, people killing, and he enjoying working. Why? What is the reason for that? What is the reason for this? He started exploring. So he was puzzled and he started investigating, looking around. Then he studied all the religions of the whole world, and he realized at their core all of them had compassion, caring for each other, and not hatred. No religion thought hatred. Then he visited some tribal communities who were not exposed to this civilization. They found all people living together and nobody was hurting anybody, at home or outside. Oh, without any civilization, there was no police, nothing. There was no violence in those communities, tribal communities. So then he got attracted to non-violence principle of Mahatma Gandhi. He has written in his books and told in his videos. He was inspired by the non-violence movement through which Gandhi got independence for India. And for your information, when Satya Nadella became CEO of Microsoft, the first thing he did, he gave copies of this book, basic book of Marshall Rosenberg to all his immediate reports, direct reports, to the vice presidents. He believed in that. So Marshall Rosenberg, he taught this whole philosophy free to the whole world. All his books are sold, but all this book is, audio book is available in 9 sessions. I listened to all the 9 maybe 6 times while driving. So all that information is available free, and he has established an organization. They have got certified trainers all over the world. Even in India, there are some. I've seen videos of somebody training people in India. So I looked around in Albany. There is nothing so far. I'm praying that some group like this will start here and maybe start a practice group. So what are the basic features of NVC? NVC, I'm shortening it, but they recommend not to shorten it, use the right word, nonviolent communication. I would like to play that video, first video, of the basics of nonviolent communication.
Do this 10-second simple technique tonight to restore perfect blood sugar levels. Don't take
Nonviolent communication.
0.75.
The theory of nonviolent communication provides with a number of techniques to help.
It's not my idea. Marshall Rosenberg uses this actually. The giraffe he uses has got a mouth that opens. So he'll be speaking like, and the jackal will be in the mouth, giraffe will be like a puppet, puppet show. And the jackal can speak. It does not. And I ordered the giraffe ears. And we put on the giraffe ear band, headband with 2 ears like that. The idea behind that is, if somebody is saying no, you tell your child, it's time to go to bed, and the child says no. That no just shakes you up, right? But with the giraffe ears on, that no gets transformed into connecting with the emotion of the child. Emotion. The child is resisting, very angry, upset, or whatever. And the need behind it is, the child wants to watch a video game or the TV. So the ears will help you see the feeling and the need behind the feeling. That's what it's supposed to be, symbolic. So Marshall Rosenberg, he chose the giraffe as a symbol. He explained in more detail, because among all the land animals, giraffe has got the biggest heart, because the neck is tall and the blood has to reach the head, so it has got a big heart, bigger powerhouse to push the blood to the top. So bigger heart means generous, compassion, kindness. People, you have a large heart, people say that, right? So that is one reason. Other thing is, the neck is so high, it can see a big area. It can see a wide picture, not a small picture. Not seeing a small thing and making a decision, but seeing a big picture and coming to a conclusion or taking a decision. And the third thing, it has got a long neck. Neck is supposed to be vulnerable. The longer the neck, easier to cut off the neck. That means to have a long neck is a vulnerability. Weakness, showing your weakness. I'm exposing my neck means I'm showing my weakness. One of the last things, there's request. Request is not a demand. Request means the other person may agree to give or may not give, may comply or may not comply. That means you are making a request means you are exposing your neck, knowing you may not get what you are requesting. The other person, if it is a request only when the other person can say no and get away with it without you becoming angry. Only then it becomes a request. So that was the reason why he selected giraffe, and the jackal, similar story, contrasting things, but there is no other significance to these two. So we have already seen that it is a 4-step process. Observation. For example, the first step is an observation. How would jackal say the same thing? Same thing, how would a jackal say and a giraffe say? The jackal language, one would say, the parent will tell the child, you lied to me about your grades. The giraffe language, parent would say, I heard you say you passed all your courses, but this report card shows 2 Fs. It is applying all those 4 principles. Jackal language and giraffe language. So, first step is observation. Observation is like a picture, like a video record. They don't have any judgment, evaluation, no color, no emotion. It is just describing what is seen, what is heard. Then second step is feeling. When a person's need is fulfilled, they have a pleasant feelings. When the need is not fulfilled, they have unpleasant feelings. Somebody is hungry, you can see the baby, the mothers can see when the baby is hungry, when the child is hungry. They start acting out. Now, the mother who is tuned to the baby correctly, child correctly, can understand. In fact, Padma can tell how your daughter's case, you're crying, daughter's crying.
Oh,
Sleep, whether it is something. So, that means not seeing crying as a sign of a need for company, need for diaper change, need for food, need for sleep. But the external symptom is only crying. Now that crying, some mother is figuring out that varieties of crying and varieties of needs behind varieties of crying. If only we can do that with adults, no problem. That is the goal of nonviolent communication, which a mother is able to intuitively figure out with her child. That capability, where is it going? Where it is going away because of some misunderstanding, whatever. So the pleasant feelings, etc. You have got handouts, so I don't want to read them out. That's why I printed them out to save time. And the need behind. Now here is a problem. There is a needs with. Look at that wheel. You cannot read it, but you have got the picture with you in your handouts. Look at that wheel, please. These are all human needs, universal human needs. In all human beings, all over the world. It is difficult to accept them. I find it difficult. How many segments are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 segments. I can accept the survival. The bottommost one, the lowermost one, sustenance, nurturance, procreation, sensory stimulation. That's fine. Sustenance, physical, taking care of things. Now go to look at all these other segments. Meaning, purpose, contribution, competence, autonomy.